Hello, I'm Stan Smith, and welcome to Is Not, Is To Art Studio. So I've been experimenting some more with what I can do with resin that has been poured into a mold. I'm using mica powders to color this resin. I believe this will be a good choice for this project. One of the colors is even called Peacock Blue, and the other three colors are Cambridge Blue, Magic Blue, and Jungle Green. I order these from a place called Just Pigments. In case you're interested, I'll talk about this mold in a little bit, but for now, I'll try to explain how I'm pouring this. There is a theory behind my madness. You may notice a little divider at the top. I pour a little bit of the Cambridge on one side and a little bit of the green on the other. Then I pour the Cambridge into a cup with the Magic Blue and pour that on one side, and pour the green into a cup with the Peacock Blue and pour that down the other side. Then I pour those two cups into a big cup and pour the rest of the way down. I don't know about you, but I'm thoroughly confused. But let's move on. Depending on the temperature of the resin, you probably have about an hour to manipulate it. As you know from the title of the video, I'm trying to make a peacock. I think one of the most beautiful birds on the planet. When they do their feather display, it is a sight to behold. I don't know if you've ever been around peacocks, but a warning. They can let out a screech so loud, well, let's just say you better be hanging on to something. And one more interesting thing about peacocks. If you don't like snakes, peacocks are good to have around. They don't so much kill snakes, but they pester them so much the snakes just stay away. Where I grew up, there was a park that had wild peacocks. I think they had escaped from an old zoo that was once there. Anyway, they just wandered around minding their own business. Okay, now let's talk about the mold. Nothing fancy, just some pieces of scrap MDF with one screw in each piece. Then I line it with foil tape. This works pretty good for a one-time use. Of course, if you wanted to mass produce something, a rubber mold would be the way to go. But I suspect I will make only one of these and then move on. It is a bit of a challenge to remove. I'm still refining my technique. It's been about 24 hours since I poured, and still has some flecks. And yes, I'm working on some ideas of what I can do with the resin while it is still malleable. This piece is about 1/4 inch thick, and it will be completely stiff in about 4 days. A quick outline of where I want to cut it, and then to the scroll saw. This is my second project on my new scroll saw. I like it so far, but it came with 2 blades, and I have busted both of them. Perhaps a better quality blade will last longer, or maybe I just need to slow down. Anyway, I'll finish this project with my manual coping saw, probably all I needed in the first place. But when you get your heart set on a scroll saw with an 18-inch depth and can do 1500 RPM and has a built-in LED light, well, you gotta have it. If I could bother you for just a second, I don't know if you're familiar with my YouTube channel, but if you like this kind of content, all you need to do is hit that subscribe button and you won't miss any of my new videos. And as always, it's free. So I made this piece the same way as I made the big one, but I just used one of the colors, the Peacock Blue mica powder. He's starting to take shape now. In the background are some of the tools I've been using to shape and fit the pieces together. Earlier, when I was mixing up the resin, I made a small batch of this, what I call white, but actually is called blue-green, CP-90245. I thought this would be a good choice for his beak. Okay, so now I'm basically gluing all the parts together, using some more of the resin, using blue for his body and some of the white for his beak. I'm doing this all from the back side. I have taped up the front and sides and laid it on some foil in case of leaks. Removing the tape the next day. I have purposely made his beak on the big side. I will continue to make it smaller till I am happy with it. I have failed to mention also his eye. I actually drilled a hole and then filled it with some of that white glitter. Some final shaping with my die grinder. Here are two of the bits I have been using. These are 1/4 inch shank. You could get similar bits for your 1/8 Dremel tool. Some final sanding with 400 grit wet and dry. You don't need to worry so much about scratches because once you pour the final clear coat on it, it will look good as new. This is a piece of 1/2 inch MDF. I have rounded off the edges and put some spacers on the back and painted it this very light green, which I hope goes well with the dirty pour, which we are going to do real soon. But first, we have to glue him down. Here's a close-up of his head and his head feathers. And you may have noticed I drilled a shallow hole in his eye that I will pour some green mica in later. Now for our background dirty pour. I'm using some more of that jungle green and a new color, shimmer green. I poured them into 1 cup. No mixing. Just pour them in and then pour them out. And once I pull the tape off, the resin will move around for about 30 minutes to an hour. So like Miss Gump said, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. I will let this dry for a couple of days, then the clear coat. That's when he will really come alive. It has now been 2 days, so I'm pouring the top coat. This has been a fun project. I hope you come back and see me. You never know what I might make next.